Hey you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marie. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. If you guys are new to my channel, I am so glad that you guys were able to click on it, and hopefully you enjoy my message. And those who are just reoccurring subscribers, thank you again for being a part of the fam. Like, y'all are the straight up real MVPs, because baby, y'all know I'll be all over the place. But I thank you all for being here, whether if you're old or if you're new, it really doesn't matter. You're a part of the family. So as y'all can see from the thumbnail and everything, I have an announcement to make. Okay, drum roll please. I have officially quit my job. Okay, yeah, I have officially quit my job. Okay, and honestly y'all, since I have made the decision to quit my job, I feel more at peace with a lot of things, but I still have some things I'm still working on. Okay, like, let's sip the tea. Okay, I have some things that I am working on still that I know God got me. Okay, so let's get into why I quit my job. The reason why I quit my job was the fact that I personally didn't feel like that was my particular area on what I wanted to do, what I could see myself doing years down the road. Like, yeah, I could have retired from it. Yeah, I could have done this, that, and the third. And when I tell people that I have successfully quit my job, they're like, have you lost your mind? Have you really sat back and thought about things? And honestly, this has been brewing on my head, honestly, since before I even started the job. And y'all know I did OnlyFans for about 3 to 4 years, close to 4 years, before I was like, okay, I'm tired of it. And I'm grateful and I'm overjoyed that God really answered my cries. He answered my prayers, you know, during that particular time in my life, because I was really in a state of mind that I was no longer happy. I was no longer, you know, wanting to do more. I didn't want to do too much with OnlyFans. Like, I was just really burnt out on it. And the fact that God answered my prayers and allowed me to get this job that I just quit, call me ungrateful, call me whatever, but I felt like that was just a stepping stone, or just like an open door that God allowed me to go through. And he's like, okay, you know that I'm capable of doing anything. So that was my way of showing you. So I would have been with the job, it would have been a year come next month, because we're in October now, but it would have been a year come next month. But I honestly, it was just like, I don't see myself being within this job more than a year at least. I was giving myself to the end of this year to actually quit my job. I honestly wrote it down somewhere, and y'all know I like to write things down. I have sticky notes, I have notes everywhere. But I made that commitment to myself. I said, look, if I quit this job, am I going to look for something better job-wise? Am I just going to open up another door for another job employment opportunity? Or am I really going to pursue my dreams? Honestly, I decided to pursue my dreams. And at this base in my point, like at this point in my life, I have really considered the pros and cons of doing what I chose to do, was to quit my job. And honestly, if I was to choose to stay with my job, or even if I was to just say I quit, I mean, God got me either way. So what's crazy is I was crying, praying, yelling out to God, out of frustration, out of just worrying about anxiety, about everything else. And God was just like, all right, well, I'm going to open up something, so you have no choice but to quit this job. Hold on, let me get some water, because God is good. God is good. Okay, so he allowed some things to take place in my job where I really got too uncomfortable. And it wasn't like unbearably uncomfortable, but like, check this out. So God literally allowed my computer, I feel like he allowed my computer to have these technical issues. Now, usually within this job, the company is great. The people around me that was surrounded by me were great. Like, I have no problems with them. But the software, or the VPN network within the job, was giving me issues, like unbearable issues that I haven't experienced before. Mind you, I've been here for almost a year. So I'm like, this is a little weird. Things happen, right? This happened on a Monday. Okay, my technical issues started to happen on a Monday. I'm like, yeah, let me call my help desk, you know, let me just call them. Sorry, I noticed my necklace was like all over the place. Oh my god, that's what I get for trying to like really get some things in order. This happened on a Monday, so any type of technical issues, you know, it usually just bounce back. I don't have to call help desk unless it was like about a password issue, but this was really from my VPN network software. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's the issue, let me call my help desk. My help desk didn't know what was going on. They did so many different techniques, different trips and ticks and whatever you want to do to try to tweak and see what's going on with my computer. He couldn't figure it out. Okay, so I'm like, all right, mind you, this took place on a Monday, so I'm like, okay, we'll give it till the next day. He was like, I'll just do some research and I'll contact you back. He didn't contact me back until Wednesday, and even Wednesday my manager had to reach out and was like, hey, you know what's going on. I told her, I'm like, I'm waiting for help desk to call me back and let me know what's going on. I still haven't heard anything, right? So in the midst of me having my technical issues, I personally was doing content. Like, I was just filming all type of different stuff. I didn't care. I had the time. I went to do errands. You know, I just did a whole bunch of stuff while I was off the clock, technically. So my manager reached out. He called me back. The IT guy called me back and was like, hey, you know, I think that it would be best if you contact your internet service provider. And I'm like, for what? You know, why am I calling my service provider, my internet service provider, when it's clearly within the company? So he was like, I just think that might be some wiring that needs to go on, that needs to be redone or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I contact Charter, because everybody almost got Charter, unless you really bougie, and I'm trying to get on y'all level, but y'all have a different service provider, whatever. So I called them. They're like, okay, we can have a technician come out the following week, because they didn't have any more openings that week that I called. And I'm like, okay. So fast forward, I called my manager. I'm like, hey, there won't be anyone out to look at my stuff until next week. And she's like, okay, that's fine, but this whole week that you have been out, you will not be paid. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So the technician finally comes out. Fast forward to next week, technician comes out, and I'm just like, what's up? Like, what's going on? And he was like, honestly, there's nothing that I can pinpoint why you're having technical issues. So they're like, look, we came out here, we can give you a modem, like a brand new updated modem, because granted, the one that I had was like over 4 years old. I said, that's fine, but will that change anything? He said, I don't know. But I'm like, literally everything was running just fine. Like, the math wasn't mathing, okay? So I called my manager and I was like, I got my new stuff, you know, technician came out, everything seems to be in order. But yeah, so she was like, okay, well, since you didn't get paid, you know, the previous week when you started having your issues, the company allowed us to use 2 hours for you to use, you know, the company time, 2 hours for technical issues. And I'm like, I'm grateful, but that's unacceptable because it's not my fault. I didn't feel like it was my fault. And I'm like, so how am I supposed to get paid? And she was like, well, you can use your vacation time. And I have 4 to 5 days of vacation still left over for the rest of this year. And I'm like, I use those days specifically for holidays and also for the end of the year, because my birthday's at the end of the year. And I'm like, well, I wanted to take off and try to do something, but I'm like, I won't be able to do it if I use that time for this time that I was out for this technical issue. I was like, all right, I'll just use my vacation time. But then I'm like, God, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go through this? Do I really want to work every day, nonstop, throughout the rest of the year with these I was in a busy season. We were getting ready to get into a busy season within the job and a very much high call volume. So fast forward, I get back to working, still technically having system issues, but I was literally just fed up at this point because I'm like, what do I do? So my manager, she noticed that I wasn't on the call. She was like, I know the IT technician told you that everything's good to go. I'm just calling to check in to see where your head is at. And honestly, I was literally honest with her. I'm like, Terry, I am just not there. Like, I'm literally debating if I want to stay clocked in or not. And she was like, well, I'll give you a few more extra minutes. However, we need you to get back on the phone. Excuse me? We need you to get back in the phone because we have a high call volume. that is what really kind of ticked me off, because you're saying that you care. You know, I literally told you how I felt. I was debating if I wanted to still be clocked into work. I was debating if I still want to be employed with this job. I was telling you how I felt. Like, I literally transparently gave everything that I felt out to her. And she's like, well, I can give you a few more extra minutes to basically get my thoughts together. But after you're done with those few minutes, I need you to get back on these phones. I feel like there was no empathy. I felt like there was no, and I wasn't expecting it, because the job is a job. She's just doing her job. But I'm like, I did not feel any type of empathy, any type of sympathy for how I was feeling mentally. And the fact that you're just more concerned on getting people back on the phone, that was my cue to exit. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. And I told her right then and there, like, I'm done with this job. I am done. And she's like, when you say done, like, are you done for the day, or are you done, like, with the employment altogether? I said with the employment altogether. And I honestly didn't take any time to be like, what should I do? Because I felt like that was just my exodus right there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just leave. And on top of that, it wasn't even about just her not showing empathy. It was more of the fact that the job was also converting to being hybrid. And I am a more remote work from home type of girl, due to the fact that I don't have my own car. And I know it's kind of like, oh, you grown, you know, your car. Like, listen, my car is to come. But the fact that you guys are going hybrid and didn't even want to increase my pay for that. So you're telling me I would have to Uber every day, 3 to 4 times out of the week, to go into the office. That's $40 there and $40 back. That's $80 times 4. You do the math. That's a lot of money for me to be wasting to go to a job when I'd rather do something different, you know, like, and I don't see there's anything wrong with that. But honestly, like, all jokes aside, like, I really felt that was my exodus. And I really felt like at that point God was really talking to me. And I'm really big on my other social media platforms on really trusting God and having the faith to move forward, you know, really having the faith and the trust to Him, to let Him work in your life and let Him do things that He wants to do on His own will. And I'm like, God, I'm the passenger of this ride that you have for my life. I'm in the passenger seat, and I need you to guide me in every choice, every thought, every action that I take. Like, I need you right here front and center. And I've been teaching and training myself up to put God in everything first that I do. And I have a scripture from 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9 through 10. From the Amplified Version, and it says, but God has said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My love and kindness and my mercy are more than enough, always available regardless of the situation. For my power is being perfected and is completed and shows itself effectively in your weaknesses. Therefore, I will more gladly boast in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may unfold and be dwelling inside of me. So I'm going to verse 10. So I am well pleased with weaknesses, with insecurities, with distress, with persecutions, and with difficulties, for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak in the human strength. So whenever I'm weak in my physical human strength, for Christ, He is the strength that makes me strong. So truly able, truly powerful, and truly drawn from God's strength. So in my times of weakness, in my times of worry, anxiety, whatever, God is going to manifest and prove Himself that He is God in my life. And I want to be able to be another vessel, another testimony, another empowering person that can not only show you guys that with Christ everything is possible. He can do everything but fail. But to also be a motivation to those who are probably in the same situation. Like, I didn't want to continue to settle within my job because I wasn't as motivated to do content when I was working. When I was working my 9 to 5, I put content on the back burner. Like, if I didn't want to make content for the week, I can just go to my job because that's my security blanket. And us as a society, I feel like our security blanket is what kind of holds us back from achieving our dreams. Now, a lot of people who do have the corporate jobs or who just have a regular job, it doesn't even matter. I feel like, you know, some people are able to work their job and then also to go chase their dreams as well. But for me, I ask myself every day, are you really crazy enough to really ask God to do the impossible? Are you really, really able to ask God and to really trust in Him to allow you to get whatever it is that you want? But when you're getting it and when you're in the process of it, do not lose faith in Him. Do not get so big-headed that, you know, you kind of lose track of who God is and what He has done. I tell God every day, like, God, continue to humble me. Continue to make me the woman that you want me to be, that you destined me to be before I was even thought of. Like, make me the woman, create in me a clean heart. Clean me out of everything that is not of you. Like, my prayers are very specific. So I know that God has a way for me, and I just want to bring you guys on my journey through the good, through the bad, whatever. And I really hope that this empowers you guys, give you a little bit of strength. But yeah, your girl has quit her 9-to-5. Your girl has quit her 9-to-5 job, and I have no plan B. I have no plan C. I have no type of recollection on what's next to come. But all I know is that I'm putting all my trust in God. I have no choice but to put my choice in God at this point. So He's going to make a way some way, shape, or form. But without that being said, I'm sorry. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. And yeah, make sure you guys follow me on all my other social media platforms. And I love you guys. Until next time.